Look out at your world. Look at the faces of your loved ones, your colleagues, your rivals, the strangers on the street. Look at the circumstances of your life, the state of your finances, the health of your body, the political climate, the headlines in the news. We live our lives in a constant, exhausting, and ultimately futile battle to change this world outside of us. We plead with a spouse to be more loving. We argue with a boss to be more fair. We struggle against an economy to be more generous. We will a sick body to be well. We are armies of one, constantly laying siege to the fortresses of external reality, convinced that our happiness, our peace, our fulfillment lies just on the other side of that wall. If only we could change that one person, that one condition, that one fact. This struggle is the great human drama, the source of all our conflict and all our sorrows. We are masters of the art of pointing outward. But tonight we are going to turn that pointing finger around. We are going to explore the most terrifying and ultimately the most liberating truth a human being can ever encounter. A truth that Neville Goddard delivered with the force of revelation. It is this: there is no one to change but self. The entire vast, complex, and seemingly independent world that you perceive is nothing more and nothing less than yourself pushed out. Every person, every condition, every event is a mirror, a messenger, an actor playing a part that you have written for them within your own consciousness. To change your life, you do not change the world, you change the self that is projecting it. This is the hardest of all pills to swallow. It feels like blame, it feels like an accusation. To look upon the person who has betrayed you, the circumstance that has ruined you, the illness that has ravaged you, and accept that its cause lies within you, seems not only impossible, but cruel. Our ego, the part of us that thrives on separation and victimhood, rises up in furious protest. But I ask you to quiet that protesting voice for just a little while and consider this. If the cause of your sorrow is truly out there, then you are and always will be a helpless victim. You are at the mercy of a billion external forces you cannot control. Your peace will forever be a hostage to the moods and actions of others. Your prosperity will be a slave to the whims of the economy. Your health will be a lottery of genetics and chance. This is a life sentence of powerlessness. But if the cause is within you, if the world is but a reflection of your own state of consciousness, then you have just been handed the keys to the kingdom. You are no longer the victim of your life, you are its cause. You are no longer the puppet, you are the puppeteer. This is not a burden of blame, it is the glorious burden of your own divinity, your absolute power to create and to redeem your world by first creating and redeeming yourself. Neville taught that consciousness is the one and only reality. The world is a projection of what is happening within the collective and individual consciousness of man. Your personal world is the objectification of your own unique state of consciousness. A state is a collection of beliefs, feelings, and assumptions that you accept as true. Your concept of self, the person you believe yourself to be, is your primary state. And from this central state, you maintain a host of assumptions about everything and everyone else. The people in your life cannot be other than what you assume them to be. They are not independent agents in your reality. They are messengers telling you by their behavior what you secretly believe to be true about them and about yourself in relation to them. If you believe a person is difficult, they will show you their most difficult side. If you assume someone will disappoint you, they will find a way to do it with unerring precision. They have no choice in the matter. They are playing a role in your play, reading from a script you have written for them in the theater of your mind. The world is a stage, said the poet, but Neville takes it a step further. You are the author, director, and producer of the play, and all the men and women are merely players, compelled to act out the parts you have assigned to them. This is the principle of everyone is you pushed out. It is the key to understanding all human relationships. When you meet someone, you are not meeting an objective, separate being. You are meeting a reflection of a facet of your own consciousness. Their behavior towards you is a direct, unfiltered feedback loop, telling you what you believe to be true. This is why you can see one person behave kindly and lovingly to one individual and cruelly to another. The person themselves is a vessel. The state of consciousness of the observer determines which aspect of that person is called forth. So when you find yourself in conflict, when you desire a change in another person's behavior, where do you go to work? Do you try to persuade them with logic, coerce them with threats, or manipulate them with charm? This is the way of the world, and it is a path of endless effort and frustration. It is trying to change the image in the mirror by talking to it. The mystical way, the true way, is to turn from the mirror and change yourself. You do not change the other person. You change your conception, your assumption of that person. You change the part you have assigned them. And as you change the inner cause, the outer effect must change to match. There is no one to change but self. How is this done? How do you change a deeply ingrained conception of another person, especially when your past experiences with them provide so much evidence to support your negative assumption? You do it in the one place where all reality is forged, your own wonderful human imagination. Your imagination is the creative workshop of God. It is here that you can mold and shape reality as you desire. To change another, you go into your imagination and you see them differently. You stop replaying the old arguments, the old hurts, the old disappointments. To do so is to reinfect yourself with the old state, to decree more of the same. Instead, you must dare to construct a new reality. You bring that person to your mind's eye, and you see them as you wish them to be. You have a loving, imaginal conversation with them. You hear them saying the words you long to hear. You see them acting in the noble, kind, and generous way you desire. You feel the warmth and relief of this new harmonious relationship. You must make this inner reality more real, more vivid, more present than the world of your senses. Let us take a practical example. Suppose you have a boss who is critical and unappreciative. Your daily experience confirms this reality. You go to work with a feeling of dread. You replay past criticisms in your mind, and you mentally prepare for new ones. You are living in the assumption that your boss is a tyrant. Consequently, your boss is compelled to play that part for you. To change this, you must stop all of that inner activity. At the end of your day, instead of complaining about your boss to your spouse, you go into the silence. You imagine your boss is standing before you, but this time you see a different person. You hear him congratulating you on a job well done. You feel the genuine warmth in his handshake. You feel the pride and satisfaction of being appreciated. You loop this short, simple scene over and over in your imagination until it takes on the tones of reality. You fall asleep in the feeling that you are truly valued and appreciated. What have you done? You have not manipulated your boss. You have changed the only thing you have power over, your conception of him. You have changed yourself. And as you persist in this new assumption, you will find, often to your astonishment, that his behavior toward you begins to change. He may be a tyrant to everyone else in the office, but to you, he will be compelled to show the face that you have decreed. He has no choice. There is no one to change but self. This same principle applies to every aspect of your life. If you desire a loving partner, but you hold an assumption that you are unworthy of love, the world will parade before you a series of people who confirm your unworthiness by rejecting or abandoning you. To find love, you do not change the people, you change the assumption of self. You go into your imagination and you assume the feeling of being adored, cherished, and loved. You feel the security and joy of a perfect relationship. You live from this feeling, this state of being loved. As you change your concept of self, you will find that the people who enter your life will have no choice but to reflect that new reality. Or if you are already in a relationship that is filled with conflict, you stop blaming the other person. You ask yourself, what am I believing about them? What am I believing about myself in this relationship? And you go to work in your imagination, revising the conflicts into harmony, changing your conception of your partner into the ideal you desire, and assuming the feeling of a loving, peaceful union. You will change them by changing yourself. This is the true meaning of repentance, which in its original Greek, metanoia, means a radical change of mind. It is not about regret, it is about a fundamental change in consciousness. The most powerful tool for this kind of repentance is revision. Revision is the art of changing your past in your imagination. Our negative conceptions of others are built on the foundation of past memories. To truly change our conception, we must redeem the past. At the end of your day, you review the events. If you had a painful interaction with someone, you do not let it stand. You do not fall asleep replaying the argument. You revise it. You rewrite the script. You transform the angry words into loving ones. You feel the reconciliation. You persist in this revised reality until it feels true. In doing so, you are not just changing a memory, you are changing the very foundation from which your current relationship grows. You are dissolving the cause of the conflict at its root. As Neville taught, you can forgive anyone anything by revising the event. You are not pardoning them. You are liberating both them and yourself from the event itself by creating a new one to take its place in your own consciousness. By changing your remembered past, you are profoundly changing your present self. This teaching requires a level of self-responsibility that is staggering. It demands that we stop being accusers. It demands that we stop looking for scapegoats. The moment you point a finger at another person or an external condition as the cause of your misfortune, you have given your power away. You have declared yourself a victim, and you will remain one until you are willing to withdraw that projection and find the cause within yourself. This is the great spiritual journey. It is the journey from the outer court of blame to the inner sanctum of cause. It is the discovery that your own consciousness is the temple of God, and within that temple you are the high priest directing and creating all of it. Your inner conversations, the silent monologues you have with yourself all day long, are a powerful form of prayer or creation. Are you having imaginary arguments with people? You are decreeing conflict into your life. Are you imagining being praised and supported? You are decreeing harmony. Your mental diet is just as important as your physical diet. You must become a watchman at the gate of your own mind, allowing only those thoughts and feelings that are in harmony with your ideal to enter. This is the work of changing the self. The ultimate self that you are changing is your concept of I am. Your awareness of being is the one and only God. Whatever you attach to I am becomes your reality. When you hold a negative conception of another, you are really saying, I am a person who is treated this way. When you struggle with lack, you are saying, I am poor. To change your world is to change your fundamental definition of self. You must dare to assume, I am the person who is loved, respected, and prosperous. And you must persist in that assumption, living from it, feeling it, until it becomes your natural state of being. When you change your I amness, your entire world rearranges itself to reflect that change. The people in your life will either conform to your new assumption, showing you the face you have now decreed for them, or they will drift out of your life, replaced by others who are better suited to play their parts in your new play. You do not decide who stays and who goes. You only decide on the new version of yourself, and the law takes care of the casting. This is the secret to a life of peace, power, and freedom. It is the end of the war with the outer world. The struggle ceases when you realize the battlefield was always within you, and that you are the only combatant. The frustration with others dissolves when you realize they are only your reflection, your messengers. A deep sense of love and compassion arises, for you understand that everyone is simply playing the part you have written for them. And if you don't like the part, you have the power to rewrite it by giving them your noblest conception of them, by seeing them through the eyes of love. This is the ultimate creative act, to look upon a world that seems broken, and instead of cursing it, to go within and rebuild it in your own imagination, starting with the rebuilding of yourself. There is no one to change but self. Accept this truth not as a burden, but as your crown of glory, for in this truth lies your absolute dominion over all creation. Your world is waiting for you. It is waiting for you to decide what it will be by finally and completely deciding who you are.